The Bread and Better podcast acknowledges the Yagara people and the Turrbal people as the traditional custodians of Meanjin, the lands on which we record today. We pay our respects to the Yagara and Turrbal elders, past, present, and emerging. This podcast is brought to you by Hey Al Productions.
Did I say good? Did I get you to do it one more time? Maybe just in case. Okay, do it one more time. Go. Bread and Better podcast. Okay. Bread and Better podcast. I feel like I am. Hang on. Bread and Better podcast.
Hello and welcome to Bread and Better, the podcast made by women for women, where we like to discuss all things women's holistic health and female empowerment. I'm Alex. I'm a writer, a producer, a mum of three, and one of your co-hosts.
And I am Tegan. As an online coach, I spend every day teaching women to love themselves and their bodies a little more. I know that the same mantra is very important to today's guest, Dani, as well. When I first met Dani, I was working at F45 many years ago. Dani is a professional pole dancer, spicy dancer, and she's a passionate advocate for women's confidence and helping women to feel strong and sexy via her work as a pole dancing instructor. We are so excited to dive into this topic with her today. Welcome to the podcast, Dani.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
So we like to start the podcast with some food positivity. So we start with our favourite thing that we ate in the last week, and we're going to let you go first.
Okay. I went out for lunch with my mum on the weekend and we went to this Vietnamese cafe in Annalee called, I think it's Cafe O Mai or Mai.
Yeah.
And I got the vegan pho bowl and oh my God, it was so good.
So good.
I've heard really good things about that place.
Yeah.
Me too.
I've been many moons ago.
It's like always
supposed to be
busy.
the best Vietnamese in Brizzy, yeah.
Yeah. So good. Highly recommend.
Yum. Are you a vegan?
Yeah.
Have you always been a vegan?
Maybe for like 8 years.
Yeah, wow.
Were you offended by what I said last week with the quail?
Don't worry. It takes a lot to offend me. It's okay.
I'm really worried about that after I released the episode. I was like, oh my God, especially because I make the noises of the head getting chopped off in the episode.
Yeah, you do.
I really went in and I'm bringing it up again now. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay. Don't worry.
I'm going to have to check that place out. I love Vietnamese. It's my favorite food.
Yum.
I'm a little bit Vietnamesed out.
Oh yeah. From your 2 weeks of having it nonstop.
Oh yeah, you were there.
Yeah. It's so good.
Okay.
You can go next because
Okay.
I'm unprepared as usual.
So the other day I took Oscar and Sol to Manly Boathouse because Magnolia was at a play date and I had the snapper for lunch.
Nice.
It's delicious. I think Manly Boathouse is just like the freshest seafood. Have you been there at all?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. Tegan and I were just having a debate.
I've got a real gripe with going to the Bayside.
She thinks it's too far away. It's only 20 minutes away.
Wherever you are in Brisbane, it's going to take 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think it takes me 40 minutes.
Oh.
I've got such a, I was just saying I've got like such strict ideas on how far is too far, like based on where you are. Like I'm at Palm Beach and I'm like Mermaid Beach, Broad Beach, too far. But Coolangatta, I'll go 3 times in a day.
Absolutely. That's like me with the north side. I'm like, how far to the north is it?
Everything on the north side is too far away from me.
Yeah.
I had to go to Chermside last Friday and there was roadworks. It took me 40 minutes and I had to go through a tunnel because I was meeting someone. So I had to be there on time and it cost $12 to go through the tunnel. Mm-hmm. And I was, oh my God, I was like, this is why I don't come to the north side. I just hate it. We'll happily drive to the Sunshine Coast and Noosa in a heartbeat. But
Yeah, but like the in-between, nah.
yes.
No
It's
disrespect
so
to our
annoying.
listeners that live
Yeah,
at the
sorry.
Bayside, North Side, or on the
South Brisbane
north
where
end
it's
of the
at.
Gold Coast.
I'll drive into the valley. Is the valley north side? I love the valley. But
It's more central.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the CBD. Like I said just before, I've been eating at home a lot. I've been very well behaved. I did order tacos last night at a trivia night, and after an hour and 45 minutes, I got a refund because the poor taco guy had like 100 orders in 15 minutes, and he looked like he was gonna have a mental breakdown.
No.
So I went home and had a Fro-Pro pizza, but that wasn't anything to write home about. On Sunday, when I was a sad gal, which I'm going to get to in our last segment today, I went to the shops and I made myself a really nice red curry
Yeah.
in an attempt to restore serotonin to my body. So,
Did it?
no.
Okay.
No, nothing did.
Aw.
So
We're going to talk about that later
Okay.
on. So thank you for joining us on the podcast. We're very excited to have you. To kick us off, tell us a little bit more about you and your career so far.
Okay, I'm Dani. Hi. I'm 30, turning 31.
Yeah.
Also love being in my 30s. Just going to throw that in there.
It's
like
the best.
The greatest thing ever, right?
Yeah.
People get really weird about turning 30. I could not have been more pumped. And every year I get more pumped.
Love it.
Being
Love
fit,
it.
It just gets better and better.
It does.
Absolutely.
You're more sure. I think you're more sure of who you are and what you want, and you've got more money.
Yeah, you've had fun, and now you're kind of responsible, but not like really responsible. Yeah. Just a good phase to be in.
It's totally cool.
I agree. Yeah.
What else? I'm a professional pole dancer, so I am a performer and an instructor. I have been doing pole dancing for 14 years now, which is like wild. I started in grade 11 or 12 in high school. My mum signed me up for a class.
Yeah.
I have the coolest mum ever. She signed me up for a class because I'd just given up competitive swimming because I was a swimmer. And I was like, I want to do something fun. I'm so sick of swimming up and down a pool.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it at the time, but like, I needed a break.
Yeah.
So boring.
Yeah.
I swam competitively from like 6 till 16, and then I was like waterlogged for the next 10 years and didn't want to go in the pool.
I've only recently started like occasionally going for a swim.
Yeah.
And I find it therapeutic now, but I couldn't think of anything worse for like that 10 years.
Agree.
Yeah.
And like when people are like, oh, that's just like my Monday to Friday exercise, I'm like, ugh.
No.
It's my exercise. I love it.
So boring.
So yeah, I just did it for fun, like signed up. I was like, oh, I'll try this random thing. Like I have no rhythm or anything, but like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Ended up loving it. Just did classes for a couple of years, like as a student. Then eventually just started like teaching, like as a side hustle. And then I was curious about stripping as well.
Yeah.
So as soon as I turned 18, I like literally went to a strip club, did a trial, loved that as well.
Yeah.
So just loved the whole world. I continued teaching pole dancing like as a side hustle. I've like opened a studio. I owned a studio with my ex-partner. We had that for maybe like 5 years before selling it. I went and worked with animals for a little bit, and that's like another passion of mine. And now I'm back just like freelancing, doing my own thing.
Yeah.
I teach pole dancing full-time as well as working as a stripper.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Where do you teach now? Will you
No,
teach
I
somewhere else?
teach everywhere. I run like workshops all through like Brisbane, Gold Coast, Sunny Coast. But my home studio is based in Underwood. It's called Addictive Pole Fitness.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Cool. Such our vibe, freelancing.
Yeah.
Yes, I was like, when Tegan and I were messaging each other, like when she was like, oh, do you want to come chat on the podcast? And we were both asking like, oh, what have you been up to? And we were both just saying like, we're working for ourselves and how much like we love it and we wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I was just at lunch with 2 of my girlfriends, and she said to the other one, like, oh, so would it just be like 9 to 5? I'm like, just 9 to 5? That sounds fucking terrible.
Oh, terrible. Like,
I'm like at the point now where I've just started taking up surfing.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I already go to the gym like 4 days a week. I've got 4 runs coming up for the marathon, and then I'm trying to add surfing in. And I'm like, how do I work less?
honestly. But yeah, it's so rewarding being able to like move your schedule around to suit you.
Yeah. I was like, can you do 2 p.m. on a Thursday? Like, yeah.
Absolutely I can.
Yeah. And how cool for you doing workshops like all around the place. You get to meet like so many different people.
Yes.
And that's awesome.
I love connecting with like different people and like sharing my passions with other people. So like I love traveling. I'm going to Bundaberg again. I'm hoping to go like interstate this year as well to teach. So yeah.
Cool. That's
When
awesome.
you started doing the classes and you were like a student and you got obviously like discovered that you were quite talented at it.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure a lot of hard work was going into that.
Yeah.
Were you, when you were drawn to stripping, were you like, well, I love this, so I may as well be getting paid for it? Was that your initial thought, or you were just curious?
So when I started teaching, like when I was 17, a lot of the girls that would come to my classes were strippers.
Yeah.
So I like befriended them.
Yeah.
And then I actually, once I turned 18, was going to some of the strip clubs in the Valley, like physically going into them and teaching the girls before the club would open.
Really?
Yeah, which was so much fun and I loved it. And it's such like a taboo world if you've never been in it.
Yeah.
And I was like just so curious and like it always like fascinated me. Like they're all wearing like these gorgeous outfits and like I don't know. I was so curious. I was like, I have to try it.
Yeah.
But in saying that, stripping and pole dancing are like so different.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, like pole dancing originated from strip clubs, right? That's where pole dancing came from. And now it's like a really well-known fitness exercise type thing for women to do. But when you go to a pole dancing class, right, you're learning like skills and routines and you're just focusing on yourself, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when you're working in a strip club, I may be pole dancing for 5 minutes a night.
Right.
Or I might go on stage once a night.
Yeah.
And that might be a 20-minute show. Like it really depends what club you work at. The rest of the time is me hustling and talking to people on the floor and trying to convince them to pay me so that I can give them a lap dance or just hang out with them naked. So like so different, right?
Yeah.
So what you learn when you go to a pole dancing class is not going to give you the skills to be a good stripper, if that makes sense.
Yes. So if you go to a pole dancing class,
course
and you're
you're
like,
gonna
I'm
put
a really
on-
good dancer, but like,
I feel like it's like getting down to the core of any business, and it's like, how good are you at sales?
Honestly, it's just marketing yourself.
Yeah.
And I use stage when I'm working at the strip club as like a billboard. I'm like, okay, the moment I walk on stage, this is my advertising. It's like free marketing for me. Yeah, I might get tipped on stage, even better. I'm making money while I'm there. But even if I'm not making money, I'm like showing everyone me.
Yeah.
So it's very different, pole dancing and stripping. Yeah, they have some similarities and like you do pole dance in a strip club, but they don't always go hand in hand.
I feel like when I studied PT, I remember my PT teacher saying to me, like, the best PT in this room is not going to be the best person with the best skills, the best physique, the best knowledge. It's going to be the person that has the ability to talk to and relate to this person and make them feel confident and comfortable. As the same as like, say like an 18-year-old boy to 50-year-old women. I mean, like, obviously that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But your interpersonal skills are going to be determining how good of a stripper you are, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I always tell people the people skills that I have learnt working in a strip club beats any normal job. I say normal job. Any normal job that I've ever had. Like I can walk into a room and talk to anyone.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter like what country you're from, what your upbringing was, what your beliefs are. I can like, this sounds really like creepy, but like mold my personality to like talk to you.
Yeah. That's
Like-
not creepy. That's very clever.
Yeah. So like stripping has given me like so many skills that I now use in my instructing business as well for pole dancing. Like I can relate to so many different women and communicate with them, but not all in the same way.
Yeah.
Which is such an, I think, important skill to have.
Very
Absolutely.
important skill. And it's just so funny how like different things across all different industries relate. Like just you saying that like you going on stage and that's like your free advertising. So then obviously every dance you do, you're going to want to like put your best foot forward. Because that might be the one dance that someone comes in and sees and is like, I want to work with it. This is what I think about like with every episode we do. I can't do anything half-assed with like my writing or the shows because I'm like, what if this is the one
Someone's
episode?
watching, someone important is like
maybe
listening.
someone wants to hire a producer and they listen to this episode and the audio is crap and I'm like, well, that's an opportunity missed. But it's the same for you as well. If you're up there on that dance floor and someone's wanting to, you know.
Yeah, I want their money and I'm going to give them a show.
Yeah, but like for everything, like because a woman might be in there and want pole dancing lessons or might want to hire you for an event or like
someone might just want to drop 10K.
Yeah.
Or that, please. I'm putting that out there.
Manifesting hard.
Yeah.
What's the most amount of money you've ever made in a night?
Oh, okay. So in a strip club as such, because sometimes I do private bookings, which is like for like bucks nights and stuff like that. But in the club, and this is like cash in hand, maybe like 3.5K.
Alex was like,
damn.
But like this was like pre-COVID.
Okay.
This was a huge event. I was working at a club on Caxton Street near Suncorp Stadium. There was like some huge, no, it was like an international boxing match.
Right.
And like people who are involved in boxing have money to spend. So I was like, yes, I will work. But like, I remember it was like a 14-hour shift. Like, I remember we opened at like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I worked for that. But that's not an every night thing.
No. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's like some nights you'll go in and make no money because as a stripper, you're not paid an hourly rate. Like you're a sole trader.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So you walk in, you actually have to pay a house fee to work there, which usually isn't that much. It's usually under $50. And then all the money you make is just from tips. Like, so people just like giving you money or them booking you for lap dances.
So why is that? Is that a legal, is that across the board?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just the industry. Yeah.
I assumed that you were hired like an employee and then everything else was tips.
No, we all work under ABNs.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that a legal thing or is it?
Look, that's like a whole nother thing. It's, I don't know the reasoning. Well, I know the reasoning, like the strip clubs, the management don't want to give us like an hourly rate, I guess. Yeah.
And how do they all make their money then from the house fees and the drinks?
Yeah, so I guess the patrons pay entry fee, drinks. They also take a cut of all of the lap dances you do. So we keep 60% and they most clubs is like 65% the dancer keeps and then the club takes like, they call it like a chair fee hire. Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that. So a lot of people come into strip clubs and, you know, I'll be hustling them. I'm like, okay, like we're going for a dance or you're giving me a tip to like my time is money.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, but aren't you just paid like to sit around and talk? And we're like, no, I'm literally making $0 right now talking to you.
Yeah.
So cough up, bro.
Let's go. Yeah. Open that wallet.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. And do you find like are most of the strip clubs owned by men or women? Or?
You never really see the owners.
Yeah.
It's usually just like you see the management.
Yeah.
It's like 50-50. Like a couple of the clubs I've worked at are male management, some are female, some both. Yeah, it really varies.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so interesting. I did not know that at all. My mind's already blown.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite thing about the job?
Teaching or stripping?
Both. Let's do both. Do teaching first and then
teaching
stripping.
first. Okay, so teaching, my favorite thing would be being able to like create a safe space for women to express themselves like sexually and sensually without being sexualized.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is so fucking, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go for
so
it.
So fucking important.
When I get on one of the episodes, I got so passionate that Alex had to cut some of the swear words out because we were going to have to get like a censorship rating on the episode.
Gotcha. Yeah. Which I think is so important because as women, we are sexualized like all the time.
Yeah.
For everything.
Yeah.
So it's so nice to have like a space where it's just women and you can create and express and dance and move in a way that you may not be able to do in your everyday life. So that's probably my favorite thing about teaching. Favorite thing about stripping is probably like the freedom and flexibility that job provides me. I can choose my own work hours. I also, this sounds like strange to people who don't really understand like the whole industry, but I love being able to like make someone's night or make someone feel special or important or have a safe space to talk to someone. Like a lot of my clients that see me in a strip club, people think that I'm just like dancing around naked. Like I'm not doing that. That's hard work.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you. So it's like creating that space for someone to like wind down after a hard week of work, or maybe their mental health is struggling and they just need someone to talk to. So that's probably like my favorite part of that. Like 100% there's people that just want to come and party and see some boobs and whatnot. And like, hell yeah, get it.
So be it.
Yeah.
Boobs are awesome. Yeah.
So I guess that leads really well into the next question. Like, is there any misconceptions that you find that pop up with your work, probably more so with the stripping than the pole dancing, or both?
Yeah. I think stripping, definite misconception is that it's just like creepy old men and that like we must be disgusted and hate our jobs. Like everyone like that I've spoken to who works any job hates their job at some point, right?
Yeah,
like
true.
there's parts of every job that you're like, oh, I don't really like doing that.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, it's not like, of course you're going to get creepy customers, but like that is a very like rare thing
Yeah.
in a strip club the dancers are the ones in power. Like if you break the rules, I kick you out.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm in control of my body and like the services I provide. So that's a big misconception, I think, that a lot of people think.
I think people would think that, like you said, you've got the power. I think people would think that it would be the other way around. Like that's a bit of a misconception that you have to do what they tell you to do. But you're like, no, these are my limits. These are my boundaries.
Yeah.
This is what I'm here for.
Yeah. And like the strip club has taught me how to express my boundaries in my personal life.
Yeah.
Love.
I practice it with strangers who I don't really care about.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to people I care about, of course it's still hard.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, I use it as practice.
Wow.
You should go do a bit of stripping.
I know. We were just saying off air that like I really wanted to be a stripper when I left school, but I couldn't dance. And
honestly, you don't need to be able to.
You just need to be able to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
You're really good at that.
I know. I really think I've missed an opportunity. I feel like I would have been a really good stripper. I could sell ice to an Escapo, literally.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, you'd be great then.
Literally. I was the whole time you're talking about like your like ability to mold to different people you talk to. I'm like, yeah, that's me. I would have been. Oh, damn.
It's not too late.
Kevin,
You can do
probably.
I was just trying to think about misconceptions about teaching pole dancing. Oh, I feel like a big one is people think that I just teach young, hot 20-year-olds how to pole dance.
Yeah.
Like people think it's just like this tiny, like little target market of people. If you actually like came to the studio that I teach at, I think a lot of people would be shocked at like the age range, the body type range, like the background. Like there are women from all walks of life, all have different bodies. It's honestly the most like inclusive space ever.
And it would just make you feel so good about yourself, I reckon.
Absolutely. It's like that safe space where it's just like women only.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
We love that.
So good.
One of our big focuses on the podcast and that Alex and I are working on ourselves this year is confidence.
We are.
So leading on from that, like what are your thoughts on confidence and how like women can improve theirs and how you see them improve theirs via coming and taking classes with you?
Yeah, good question. I was actually listening to both your episode on like body image and self-love.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I love this so much. I feel like we have very similar like views on all of that. Confidence is such a hard one to explain. But for me, I think like confidence is an energy, right? It's not a body type. It's not like an age. It's like this energy. And when I think back to times in my life where I'm like, fuck, I felt so confident. It actually had nothing to do with how I was looking. Like, it's just like this feeling, right? Like, you know, if you think back to a time when you're confident, you're like, fuck yeah, that felt so good. And same as like being sexy, that's an energy for me. That doesn't necessarily mean I have to be wearing a certain outfit or like sometimes I feel so confident, like wearing like a cute trackie. Like I'm in Woolies doing my grocery shop. I'm like, damn, I look cute. You know, like it's not. So in terms of like improving your confidence, for me, the big game changer was doing things that make me feel good rather than like, I think what you guys were talking about in that episode, like rather than what you look like, focusing on things that make you feel good. When do you like, that might be, I don't know, do you feel good when you learn a new skill? Do you feel good when you try something new? Do you feel good when you work out? Like whatever that is, I feel like we need to make more time to do those things.
Yeah.
And like make time for it. Like it's so important. And that's how I felt like I built confidence, and having that community of people around you that are going to support you, whether that's like the gym you go to or the dance studio you go to or your close friend circle, like have that safe space where you can like practice being confident, kind of like what I was saying in the strip club.
Yeah.
I'm like practicing my boundaries there for the outside world.
Yeah.
I can practice being confident where I feel safe.
Yeah.
And then it's easier, or not easier, but it's like, doesn't seem as scary to go out into the real world and bring that energy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And it's something we're going to talk about on the next episode. I'm doing this challenge at the moment where I'm trying to get over my fear of rejection. So I'm trying to intentionally get rejected.
Nice.
But if you think like, if I said to you, hey, Alex, you want to do this? You say no. I'm like, whatever. If I said to a new friend, like, hey, do you want to do this? And they're like, no. I'm like, they hate me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then, like you're saying, you're practicing it somewhere safe. So then like when you go, into the real world, you've got practice in that. And I really like what you said about doing things that make you feel good. And I'm like really passionate about people trying to find like a little bit of joy in every day. Like if you know, if having a coffee outside in the sun makes you feel amazing, or like for me, it's like getting on the beach, or like just find a little bit of joy in each day and a little bit of gratitude, and like how you show up with your confidence is so different.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like making time for yourself, which we're all really bad at. The more people I talk to, I'm like,
I was so
But that's a boundaries
so bad
thing
at
too.
it.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter like what your life looks like at all. Like I feel like you could be someone with kids or without kids, or, you know, you work a lot or you're not working a lot. It's just hard regardless to find the time. But I was terrible at it at the beginning of this podcast, and I'm getting a lot better now. But I think even like doing something, like finding something for yourself, I think it doesn't have to be something you're good at either. Like
No.
I'm
Probably bonus points if you're not good at it to start.
I still suck at running. I've been trying. But it's still like the whole time I'm running, I'm like, oh, this is so hard. I hate this. I'm not getting any better. But then afterwards, I feel so good.
Literally me surfing at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm like terrible, but I'm like, I can't wait to go again tomorrow.
Yeah, but like hobbies are meant to be fun. You don't actually have to be good at it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as adults, we don't try new hobbies.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. People don't value hobbies enough.
No. So when people come for their first class, I bet you get people that are so freaking nervous.
Oh, 100%.
I'd be shitting myself.
We should go. I
was going to
Honestly, can you
go?
please? Yeah, so I feel like the hardest part about going to a dance class of any sort, I guess, but maybe especially pole dancing, a lot of people tell me it seems intimidating, which I get. Like, I get that. Like, you're probably going to walk into a room full of women not wearing a lot. Also, you need skin to grip onto the pole. So that's usually why we don't wear a lot of clothing. A lot of women, like when I speak to them, that's what holds them back. They're like, I don't want to wear shorts. I don't want, and you don't have to. Like, I can work around that. Like, you could literally wear a tracksuit.
Yeah.
And I would make it work.
But you'll get a better result.
Yeah. But like, that's one thing I love about my job. Like, you notice over the weeks, like someone who's come in leggings and a baggy t-shirt in week one.
Like
and then,
strip poker, they're like
I'm like, oh, what are they going to wear this week? And then like week 3, maybe they're wearing like a singlet and some shorts. And like, oh, it's so good. Yeah, I love that.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's just such an indication of them feeling comfortable and confident in the space.
100%. And what I love so much about pole dancing is like you can feel strong and sexy at the same time.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is not something that a lot of women get to experience. Like, a lot of women don't get to feel strong or sexy, or maybe they don't feel either of those. And I feel like pole dancing brings them both together really nicely.
Yeah.
Which is what I love about it.
Yeah. I love that. That's definitely, I feel like it would be such a good thing for new mums to do as well.
Yes.
Like, because
I have a lot of mums.
Yeah. I feel like, especially after like your first baby, I remember feeling like, and I was young, I was like 27. And I remember being like, I was just a mum now. And when you're breastfeeding and stuff and you've been pregnant and you're all different. And I just remember thinking like, oh, I'm not sexy anymore. I'm just this like mum. And I feel like something like that would be so beneficial.
Yeah. And like moving your body in a sensual way feels so good. Like, honestly, so good. It's like therapy to me. Like, I have a pole at home, and if I'm just feeling a bit like crappy or just like not in my feminine, I literally, no matter what I'm wearing, whether it's like the ugliest like baggy t-shirt, whatever it is, I go into my pole room, I put on my hot girl playlist, and I just like dance for a song in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
And it's not for anyone but me.
Yeah.
And like, it instantly changes my mood. Like, it just gets me out of that little funk. And that's just like my way of feeling good about myself and building my confidence. And they all tie into each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Can you share your hot girl playlist with us?
Yeah. I've got like a hot girl playlist. I have like a money making playlist.
Oh, yes.
I got you. I'll send them to you.
Yeah, send them to me.
Yeah,
cool.
love
I'm
the
so
playlist.
keen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. I know. As soon as she said hot, because I've got some playlists that I'm like, you know, a sexy playlist and like a.
Is that for the bedroom?
No.
You're like,
Alex is like, she won't talk. She gets all embarrassed.
I get so embarrassed. Am I going bright red?
Yeah.
I do. I get so
We
embarrassed.
actually had this girls, like all of our girlfriends that wear my bodysuit
Oh, yeah.
I'm naked because my bodysuit won't stay together.
Nice.
And there's like different groups of our friends like who will very openly talk about their sex life and being sexy.
Yeah.
And then you see the ones that are just like,
Everyone's please don't look at me.
stop talking
Don't
about
come near
this.
me.
I know which friends to text now
I'm
if I
happy
want
to
to
hear
talk
it.
about raunchy stuff.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear your raunchy stuff. I just don't want to share. I just get awkward about sharing my.
That's like, what about one of our friends text into like questions for the podcast?
Yeah.
And then it's like, Tegan, tell us about your current
Yeah,
sex
yeah,
life.
yeah.
And I'm like, we will not be discussing
Not on the podcast.
It's like 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Cross over into a different group altogether.
Yeah, I love that.
So from seeing you train and training you in the past, I know for a fact that you are strong. Can you tell us about the strength work that goes into pole dancing?
Yeah. So pole dancing is hard, I'm not going to lie. I guess it looks easy like anything though. When you watch someone who's good at running, you're like, wow, they make that look so easy or whatever it is, right? But yeah, pole dancing is hard. I guess it's often referred to as close to like gymnastics maybe. Like it has a lot of the similar like pulling motions, pushing motions, like you're holding your body out sideways and upside down and all of those things. So there is a lot of strength involved and flexibility as well. But obviously that gradually happens as you like progress, like anything. It's, you know, you're not going to go to the gym and lift 100 kilos your first time. It's like with pole dancing, right? So when you first go in a beginner class, you're going to learn some like fun spins around the pole, and then we'll just get you used to using your upper body probably in a way you maybe never have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like when in everyday life, unless you are like a gym goer, do you use your upper body?
I'm a gym goer, and like the stuff that I see you do, I'm like, there's not a chance that I could hold that for a second.
No. I try to do like Magnolia, my daughter does gymnastics, and she does these like, they do like 20 pull-ups but in the shape of an L, like so that she's holding.
Oh yes, yeah.
And I tried to do one.
Most people
And I
can't do
could
a
not.
pull-up.
No.
I was like, what the fuck?
Dani can.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you can.
But like I don't train chin-ups. Like pole dancing has given me the strength that I don't know what I can do now. I'm pretty lazy at the moment, to be honest with you. But like if I was to do pull-ups now, I reckon I could at least get 6 like full range.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's just from pole dancing. Like I don't train chin-ups. It's just you're constantly pulling, pulling your body weight, or you're upside down pulling your body weight. So
God.
yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot involved.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess you do need your like skin to grip onto the pole. So that's why you see a lot of advanced pole dancers wearing little clothing, because you need like your inner thighs, you need behind your knees to grip onto the pole. And sometimes you don't need your skin to grip on the pole and you just want to look hot, and that's totally okay.
Totally. And do you get
I think
like...
it's totally okay to want to look hot at any given time.
Yes.
All the time.
Oh my
Any
God.
given
Can we
time.
talk about this? Because I feel like, there's so many like times where I'm like, oh, I don't want to, like in my past where I'm like, oh, I don't want to wear that. Is it too much?
Yeah.
You know, as women, we're like, oh, I don't want to be too much, or like look like I've, put too much effort in. And now I like honestly don't care.
I used to be the same. I used to be like really worried about like, but as I've gotten older, I'm just like, whatever, I might as well do it while I still can, because it's not gonna be forever.
And
also,
that's like a confidence thing too.
Yeah.
And like what feels hot for you. Like if you put me in a dress with high heels and a lot of makeup, I don't feel hot.
no, I would feel fun.
Yes.
Although if I do, sometimes I do my makeup really well, like 1 out of 10 times. Damn. But like put me in like a pair of denim shorts and like a nice singlet and my skin be really nice. And I'm like,
I
this
agree.
is hot for
Yeah,
me.
I agree.
And barefoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No shoes.
yeah. It's absolutely what makes you feel good. Mine is always a kukai bodysuit. No, this is a top.
I love this top on you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But
But like,
always a kukai bodysuit and loose fitting pants. I think it's just whatever works for everyone.
yeah. And like being hot or feeling hot is so different for everyone. And I feel like it's important to work out what that is for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing that's good about being in your 30s is you conform less to what you think. We were actually talking about like a party we're going to, and Alex is like, people are wearing heels, and I'm like, I won't be. Also, I don't think that there's anything sexy about me walking in heels because I do it so infrequently. It's like baby bear walking.
You're like
worse.
learning to walk again. Yeah.
Why is that girl falling over and it looks like her feet really hurt?
Yeah.
So what advice would you have for someone that wants to try a pole dancing class but feels really nervous? Like us.
go with a friend. I feel like everything's more fun with a friend, or you feel safer because you like know each other.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah. Just take someone, make sure you like go to a beginner class, because like beginner pole dancing classes are literally designed for people who have never danced in their life. And I mean like any form of dance. So if you have no rhythm,
I can't
nothing.
even do a basic TikTok.
Oh yeah. No, we got you. You'll be fine.
I did one dance class that my friend won from B105.
Oh, cute.
It was a hip hop class, and we were so bad that we just spent the whole time laughing at each other. Like, it was so embarrassing. It's one of the funniest moments of my life. I couldn't do a single step that they were doing.
Yeah.
It was.
Do you know when people were doing the blinding lights? Blinding lights. TikTok's
I can't
like
do
the
that.
easiest one ever.
Yeah.
My friend spent like an hour trying to teach me, and I couldn't get like the first 2 steps.
No, we're going to have to film
TikTok
this.
dances are hard. There's
are
like lots
hard.
of steps.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah, they look fun.
They're hard.
I can't dance.
TikTok dances are hard. I don't even think I could do them. I couldn't even be bothered learning them. I'm like, oh, so many steps.
So many steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, yeah, if you want to try it, go with a friend. You can also do private lessons. Like, you know how people do PT?
Yeah.
You can literally book a private lesson with some friends, with one instructor. You have the whole studio to yourself. Like, whatever's going to make you feel the most comfortable, like, we can make it work for you.
That's fun. That's a
There
good
would be
idea.
so many women out there that want to try this and are too scared.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
I've wanted to do one for years. We're
gonna do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one
you
of a guy I went to school with, his wife owns a pole dancing business. She owns quite a few studios. And I'm so impressed by everything she can do. She does this headstand thing for a month, and wherever she is, she does this headstand.
Yeah.
She's very impressive. And I think for 10 years, I've been like, I'm going to go do one of her classes. I'm going to do, never. I'm too nervous.
Yeah, it's so weird, hey?
Yeah.
But it's like with anything, right? Like as adults, I'm always like, oh, I want to try that. And it takes me forever to go do it.
Same.
This was me going to the gym.
Surfing's one I want to try. It's been on my list forever.
I think I wanted to try surfing for 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was so frightened that I was too scared to go to the surfboard shop by myself.
Oh,
to
yeah.
get a surfboard, I had to get my friend to go with me.
Yeah.
And then I booked a private lesson. It was supposed to be both of us, but then she couldn't come, so I ended up going by myself. And then just even the first time I went out to surf by myself,
yeah.
I was so terrified. And now that I'm doing it, I'm like, I've lost 15 years of a hobby that I am so excited about.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a moron.
I'm the same with the gym.
Yeah.
I was so scared to go until recently, and now I love it, and now I can't wait to go, and now I'm I could have been doing this the whole time.
This is the rejection thing as well. Why are we so afraid? You either get better at the thing that you want, or you stay exactly where you are. Or same with
Or you
people
just
saying
have
no.
fun.
Yeah.
Why are we so scared of it?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's because our brains like to keep us safe. And
Yeah.
it's a perceived fear. It's just the unknown that we're afraid of.
Yes.
Exactly.
100%.
The unknown.
Yeah.
But then if you logic it out, it's better or the same.
Yeah. It's so true, but it's hard to tell yourself that in the moment.
It humbles us when we're not great at things. You're like, oh, maybe I'm not that good.
My whole life is me getting humbled.
Knocked out of his head. So I've been getting a bit too confident lately. So what advice would you have for someone that's thinking about trying stripping out as a job?
Okay, do your research and actually find out what it entails.
First and foremost, they should follow you on Instagram because you've been doing your little reviews.
My little reviews.
And I have been finding them so good. I don't know why. I'm I can't stop watching.
Yeah. I've been doing these little on my close friends. You have to message me to be
I was going to
added.
say, I've not seen these.
Message me,
Yeah.
because it's girls.
so
It's girls
interesting.
only.
Okay, cool.
And I just do little reviews of the clubs that I work at.
Yes,
And
love.
a lot of my friends who don't work in the industry are we love this. It's so taboo and unknown. It's just really
Yeah.
interesting.
I always find it so interesting talking to someone that has a life that's different to mine.
Oh,
absolutely,
same.
in any way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we had Jax on talking about being a surrogate.
A while.
I was I don't know anyone that's been a surrogate. I find that so interesting. I don't really know people that strip. I find it so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just different to what we're used to.
Yeah.
I would say go to strip clubs as well. Go be a customer at a strip club.
Yeah.
See what it's like.
But pay. Don't just
Oh, do not sit there and waste our time. Yeah. Pay up.
do not talk to anyone unless you are paying them.
Yeah. So go to a strip club, maybe talk to someone who maybe you know that has done it before. But yeah, definitely educate yourself on what it entails. It's definitely different to like going to a pole dancing class.
Yeah.
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 Is there a big drinking and drug culture amongst strippers?
Yes. Short answer is yes. Okay, so personally, I don't drink when I'm at work. No shade to anyone that does. But for me, it's like I'm there to work and make money. I'm not there to party.
Yeah.
But yeah, once again, not throwing shade to anyone that does that. There is a big drinking culture in that industry because customers come in and they might want to drink with you.
Yeah.
And like get to know you over a drink or whatever that looks like. So a lot of the time I'm pretending to drink. Like if they buy me a drink, I will often just like go back to the bar and like tip it out.
Yeah.
And like fill it up with like soda water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or some clubs do like a fake dancer drink
Okay. So
where
the
I
bartender will
order
know?
it. Yeah, where the bartender knows.
Yeah. That's clever.
And is that just because girls feel more confident, or it's because they're having a good time with their work, or a bit of everything?
I think like a bit of both. Like
Yeah.
for some women, I think when they first start it definitely gives you that confidence
Yeah,
boost. Like I
yeah.
feel like we can probably all relate to that at some point in our
I'm
lives
talking
using
about that.
Like dancing in a
yeah.
club.
Yeah, or like just using alcohol to feel more confident in
Yeah.
every aspect, right? Like we've
Yeah.
probably most people listening have done this at some point in their life as
everyone.
well.
And they're probably still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And like no shade to it. We've all been there.
Yeah.
It's probably not the healthiest thing to do, but we've all done it, you
Yeah.
know? So yeah, there is a bit of that and probably a bit of like if girls are having fun, they're making more money. So yeah, it's weird being able to drink while you're at work
Yeah,
as well.
that'd be weird to get your head
Yeah.
around. I feel like people might make more money as well if they're drinking with the customer and the
Yeah.
customer's drinking more because they're drinking and then
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like the customer thinks that you're drinking with them. I don't know. It's just so weird because for me,
Yeah.
I'm not really a drinker.
yeah.
And like I would never think I'm having more of a connection with someone that I'm with if they're having a drink. You know,
yeah,
it doesn't
yeah,
make
yeah,
sense
yeah.
to me because I'm
Yeah.
not a drinker, but like
It's pretty big, like it's pretty big in dating culture.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
that's
think
what I
for
was
some
thinking.
for some of these people that want to connect with someone to be very similar to dating, and like
100%.
it's so funny, like dating culture, especially when you're in your 20s. I think it is a lot of drinking.
Yeah.
Whereas in your 30s,
Yeah.
But still, like how common is it for someone to be like, if you're dating, like, oh, let's go grab a drink.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
that's such a common thing.
Yeah.
totally.
Tegan told me when you came up very early on in the piece about people who we really wanted to interview.
Oh.
And at the time she told me that you danced with Snoop Dogg. And I have gone and watched the video.
Yes,
Can
I
you tell
did.
us how that came about and what it's like? And I'm really hoping that he's a nice guy because I love him so much.
I'll give you the tea.
Okay.
I feel like it's like such our generation.
It is
too,
like-
Snoop Dogg. Like
Honestly.
if you had to say like a rapper that's current now, everyone would be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
The kids have matching Christmas Snoop Dogg pajamas.
Cute.
Yeah, we're a big fan as a
We're a
family.
big Snoop Dogg family. Actually, Snoop Dogg was in the trivia last night too.
Oh, was he?
Relevant.
Oh my god.
Oh my God, popping up
Yeah.
everywhere. So how did it come about? So I remember the day so clearly. I was just about to start teaching and my friend messaged me being like, I'm about to send you the link for Snoop auditions. Like just said that.
Yeah.
And I was like, Snoop?
Just
I was-
chill, just real chill.
Well, at first I was like Snoop as in like Snoopy, the cartoon.
Yeah,
Like I was like, what are we talking about?
Sexy Woodstock bird
like,
dancing.
Yeah, I hadn't clued on. And I'm like, what? And she's like, Snoop Dogg. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, he's coming to Australia and he wants pole dancers at all of his shows. And I was like, oh my God, really? And she's like, yeah, I'll send you the link and it has like all the details. So it was like an audition link and you had to send in 3 videos of you dancing. One had to be to a Snoop Dogg song. So you had to choose one of the Snoop Dogg songs they gave you.
Yeah.
And you had to freestyle. So it couldn't be choreographed. It was just like a freestyle. And then 2 other videos of you performing. And then you just had to send in like a bunch of photos, like what you look like and blah, blah, blah. And at the time, I remember like reading through it and I was like shaking. I was like so nervous. I was like, oh my God, not thinking I'd actually get in. I was
For
like,
some reason, this story is giving me goosebumps.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
I was like so nervous auditioning, but I was like, oh, this is going to be so cool to say that I just auditioned for Snoop
Yeah.
Dogg. Like I genuinely, like hand on heart, did not think I would get in. But at the same time, after I sent my audition in, I was listening to Snoop Dogg on Spotify every day on my way to work.
Yes.
And I was like imagining myself dancing.
Manifestation.
Yeah. I was like imagining myself dancing on stage with him.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I can so see this.
Yeah.
And at this point he was in another country doing his tour and he had pole dancers there as well. So I'm like following these pole dancers, watching their experience on stage with him. I was like, oh my God, this is like the coolest thing ever. So a week goes by and I haven't heard anything back from the audition. I was like, oh, like surely I'm not going to get in. I was like, that's okay. Like it was fun to at least say I auditioned kind of thing. And then I remember it was a Friday night. I had literally just finished having a Menti B. My back was so sore. I have a really bad back. So I was having a flare up. I looked like a hot mess. I had a competition the next day. So I'm like baking in my fake tan and my WhatsApp app is like ringing and I'm like, oh my God. And it's like come up on the screen, Nicole the Pole, who is I want to say like the main pole dancer that travels with Snoop Dogg everywhere. So she performs with him everywhere. She's calling me on WhatsApp and I'm like, fuck, I look like shit. I'm like, oh, well, here we go.
Yeah.
Answer it. And she's like, hey, Dani. And I'm like, oh my God, hi. And at this point I hadn't clued on.
Yeah.
Like I was shaking, like physically shaking. So she gave me like a little interview, asked me like all these fun questions. Anyway, by the end of it, she was like really casually, so do you want to dance with Snoop Dogg on like March 5th?
Oh my God.
And I was like, what? And she's like, is that a yes? And I'm like, yes. And just started like crying. So I'm like, oh my God, like what is happening? Like I have wanted to do this for so long, like either be in like a music video pole dancing or like perform on a big stage. And I was like, holy crap, like this is like legitimately happening. So like Menti B is over.
I've just got good.
Yeah, I was like, everything, this can wait for another week. So yeah, I had a week to, I guess, like prep, but it was all freestyle. So there was no choreography we had to learn. It was just.
Do you prefer to dance that way?
Yeah, absolutely. I just love freestyling. Yeah. So it was like my jam. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I had this moment. I was like, I feel like I was like born to do this. Just, like it was like, I felt like so right. This felt like it was meant for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, fast forward a week later, me and one of my best friends, Beck, also got booked, which was really cool. So we got to me and my bestie got to do it together.
Oh my God.
So
that would have made it feel like even more meant to be.
Oh my God. It was just like incredible. And we were paired up with each other. So we danced on like the same side of the stage. There were 4 poles.
Yeah.
Other 2 girls were on the other side.
You're like right at the front.
We'll share it to the
We've actually watched everything. So yeah, and like leading up to it, I mean, yeah, then I guess we're there on the day. We had our own little dressing room in the entertainment center. And I think at that point we got to walk out and no one was in the stadium. So it was like completely empty, like the entertainment center. And we get to walk out and it's just like the most surreal feeling. Normally I'm at the entertainment center watching artists perform.
Yeah.
And now I'm standing on the stage looking out and I was like, oh my God, we're going to be dancing in front of like 15,000 people. Like this is wild. And I can't even like describe the feeling of like when we walked out. So Snoop Dogg, like we're waiting back like side of stage. We haven't seen Snoop Dogg at this point.
Yeah.
He like enters and's like smoking a joint as he always is. He's like walked on stage and like we follow after him. And then like looking out and there's just like thousands of people.
Oh my God.
But in that moment I was like, this is cool. Like I wasn't even nervous at that point. I just had so much adrenaline. I was like, I was like born to do this. Like, let's go. And it just felt like so easy and fun. It was just like a big party.
Oh my God.
On stage.
It would be good that you weren't nervous because I could imagine you can't pole dance with sweaty palms.
Yes. So that was one thing that was one thing I actually was nervous about because the lights as well are usually really hot. When you're on a stage.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, like what if I just get up there and I can't do anything?
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just shake my ass. That's fine. Yeah, backup plan. But yeah, it was the whole thing. It still feels surreal. Like sometimes like I'll watch a video on my phone. I'm like, oh my God, like that's me.
That's so cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
How long did you dance for?
So I think we did like 7 songs total.
Oh my God.
But not in a row.
Yeah.
So he had particular songs on his set list where he wanted pole dancers.
Yeah.
And they were like the more like sexy sensual ones, I guess.
Yeah.
And his opening song, which was the next episode. So that was, we all went on with him for that first song, came off, and then there were another 2 songs we came off, and then I think there was like 3 songs in a row. Yeah, and like it's such a weird weird thing because there's cameramen running around you on stage as well because they're filming for like the big screens. Like Snoop Dogg has this monkey person like dressed in a monkey suit who's like smoking a joint and he runs around, he like interacts with you. So you're like trying to perform and then there's like Snoop Dogg and when he comes over, you're like trying to interact with him because like that was part of the like brief. Yeah. Like you're there to like entertain. So interact with each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're like, I don't know. It's just there's so much going on and it went so fast. And there was, like one moment where I think you guys have seen the money gun. The money gun one. Yeah. So that was like the craziest full circle moment, that one, because the song that was playing was like a strip club jam. It's I Wanna Fuck You by Snoop Dogg and Akon. It's just like a well-known strip club anthem and I always used to dance to it on stage. And it's playing, I'm dancing to it, and then I see like Snoop Dogg walking towards me with the money gun. And I'm upside down at this point. Like I'm spinning upside down and I can like, as I rotate around, I'm like seeing him. I'm like, oh, I wonder if he's like coming this way. Anyway, he is coming this way. And then next minute he's like making it rain. He has like these Snoop dollars, he calls them. He's like making it rain on me. And I'm like, what the like, what is life? Like, what is actually happening?
That's the best clip.
Just so full circle and just like, can't even explain how cool it was, the whole experience.
That's amazing. Oh, how good.
So
and he is really lovely. So afterwards, after the show, we got to go and like hang out in his big change room with all of like his entourage and him. And he was like smoking a joint, honestly, the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm like, how is he standing? But like so down to earth, so lovely, like easy-going.
Yeah.
Just like chill vibes, wants everyone to have a good time.
Oh, that's so good. I had heard and I just hope that hoped that was the case.
100%.
Oh, good.
How old is he now? He's pretty old.
Yeah, isn't he like almost 60?
Surely.
Is he 58 or something?
Yeah, he's close to 60.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
It's so cool. Like, it's impressive to be that cool.
Yeah, do you know he's going to be involved in like the Paris Olympic Games this year and stuff? He's like a correspondent. Yes, it's like my dream life. Olympic Games, Snoop Dogg. I'm going to be unavaiable for like the full 2 weeks. I'm just going to be locked up in a room. That's amazing. How cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it was so cool.
So fucking cool.
Is there anything else that you would like to add or talk about in relation to anything that we've discussed today? Pole dancing, stripping, women's empowerment, confidence.
I think just like getting back to the fact of like confidence, because it's something I get asked all the time. How are you so confident? Or, you know, whatever that is. But I think I just want to like reiterate, like find your safe space.
Yeah.
Like no matter what that looks like to you. That could be your bedroom. That could be in the shower. I don't know, like with your friends. But like practice the things that you want to do or like show the world or like be your authentic self like in that safe space. And it's going to be so much easier to go out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such good advice.
Like wear the outfit that you really want to wear out at home.
Yeah.
Like in your room. I tell this to girls all the time. They're like, because I rock up to class some weeks in like literally like a string. And they're like, how do you feel so comfortable wearing that? And it's just practice. I think confidence is a skill. You have to practice it. Yeah. So, you know, you might put that outfit on in your bedroom at home with your hot girl playlist on.
Yeah.
And clean your room. I don't know, like clean the house in it or like watch yourself in the mirror, like touch yourself in the mirror. Do whatever that is that makes you feel good. And then like take those little baby steps to like taking it out into the real world.
Yeah.
That's really good advice.
Such good advice.
It's like that thing, I think we've spoken about it before and I'm really trying to lean into it, is like to stop saving things for a special occasion.
Oh
like
my God.
Oh my God.
Occasion. Literally,
like
this is such a big
burn the expensive candle.
Yeah. Or like wear, like you're not, like I think about all these clothes that I have, like nice linen pants, and I think, oh, I won't wear them because I'm just going for a surf. But I'm like, if I feel nice when I'm on my way there and we're like looking at the way, like why are we saving things for a special occasion? Like wear the things that make you feel good. Do the things that make you feel good. Wear your expensive jewelry, your expensive candle, your
and
nice
like for
makeup.
you, like do it for you. Like don't even like take in the validation of other people.
Yeah.
Which is hard, right?
No, but
but like literally do it for you.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a key point with confidence too, is to start showing up for you.
Yeah.
Versus, and like if you think about social media being a huge one, as like, you know, the validation or like the confidence that you get from getting X amount of likes on a post versus the confidence you get from genuinely like liking yourself.
Yeah, like feeling good.
You can't even compare them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. I love that. That's really good, actual tangible
Practice
advice
it.
because
We love a tangible.
we love
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
it's true. Like so many people are like, oh, to feel confident, you have to like do this and like practice this in your head and mantras and stuff. But that's actually something practical that you can do to work towards
Also,
that.
I'm even thinking like lingerie that you save for a special occasion. Like, why aren't we wearing that every day so we feel like nice?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that's so true. So,
You can talk about how this segment came about because I actually wasn't that keen when you pitched it because I was not feeling confident.
yeah, so I came up with this segment the other day when we were talking about this, and I thought it would be good to discuss the time when we've felt the most confident in ourselves. When I have felt the most confident was when I had Oscar, my first child. I just felt like that's exactly what I was supposed to be doing with my life, was being a mum the second he was born. I felt amazing and I was like, this is it. This is what I was put on the earth for.
Yeah,
And I
love
had
that.
so much self-doubt forever about my career and what I wanted to do and whether or not I was smart enough. But I knew that I could be a good mum and really leaned into that. And I think, and then that followed having the other two as well. And now I'm just like very confident in my ability as a mum because I've got 3 kids.
You're a pro.
Sometimes you feel like
Keep doing it, so you must be doing it.
I do. But no, sometimes obviously everyone's going to second guess their decisions and stuff like that.
Of course.
But it's more like I feel very confident, like being able to take all 3 of them to somewhere really difficult and just like I don't feel nervous doing something like taking 3 of them to a theme park or something like that. I feel confident that I can do that. So yeah, I don't know. Just it feels good.
Yeah.
So what's yours?
I was thinking about this. Oh, it's so hard to like pinpoint one time, hey?
Yeah.
Because like I am lucky. I shouldn't say lucky. Like I've worked really hard to get here, but I'm generally a confident person like these days. Like I have bad days like we all do, right? But like in general, I'm like happy and confident. But the one time when I was really thinking about it was when I solo traveled.
Yes.
Yeah, I love solo travel. If you've never done it, I highly recommend.
Yeah.
So I didn't go anywhere like crazy. I've done Tasmania by myself. I did 2 weeks alone in Tasmania by myself. I just drove around, stayed at different places, literally spent the whole week like hiking by myself. The best experience ever.
Yeah.
Like, and I felt so confident in myself and like my ability to like, I know it sounds silly, right? But like to
that doesn't sound
get
silly.
myself to places, like the confidence to make decisions. Sometimes I find it really hard to make decisions, but I had to make every decision because there was no one with me. I'm like, okay, where am I eating? Where am I sleeping tonight? Where am I driving to? So that probably would be.
I love that.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Traveling's a good one.
Yeah.
I
Really
felt
good one.
very confident when I was traveling Europe and Japan. I feel like, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Here we go. Taken.
Let's go.
Move the microphone in front of you.
Alex asked me this on Monday when I was in a sad girl hole.
Yeah.
We've done an episode before about relationship with alcohol, and I have been really assessing my relationship with alcohol. So ended up having a few drinks spontaneously on Saturday around people that I didn't know. Sunday, Monday, I don't get hungover, but I get like mentally really challenged.
I feel that.
I didn't until Monday night have this epiphany. It's because when I drink, especially around new people or drink a lot, I turn into a past version of myself that I don't particularly like anymore. Like I'm loud, I'm obnoxious, like I need to be the life of the party. And I don't want to be that person anymore because like alcohol doesn't give me confidence. Like I get confidence now from being so sure of who I am and my place in the world and doing the things that I love and living by myself and being at the beach. So my answer to your question would be right now. And when you asked me, it was a really timely reminder of how much that has changed and how like it's nice. Like, you know, we would say in the past, and we touched on it before, you go out and you drink alcohol to feel more confident. And now I just think, I just feel so much more confident on a day-to-day basis, showing up in my life, in a career that I'm passionate about, doing things that I like, living somewhere I like, being someone I like. And I had to like look at that past version of me with grace and be like, that person served a purpose. Like they were keeping me safe in that environment, and that's who I felt like I needed to be at the time, but I don't need to be that person anymore. So right now is the
That's
answer.
so cool. I feel like
Yeah.
that was like meant to happen, that
Yeah.
experience for you though, right? Like you were
It
meant
was-
to have that epiphany and be like, actually, like I don't want that.
it was like I had no serotonin in my body, and like I was being hard on myself when I realized that, but it was also like, it also was just like such a wake-up call. Like I didn't want to go for a run. I didn't want to go for a surf. I didn't want to talk to my clients. Like I didn't want to do all of these things that light me up on a day-to-day basis. It was just like so backwards from where I want to be as a human.
Wow.
And I like I was thinking about it, and it's just like a bit of a continuation on the episode that we did on alcohol. I want to be a person that if someone says, do you want to drink? I'll always say yes.
Yeah.
But it's 1 or 2, which is...
Go you. I love this for you.
I have been, and we've talked about it since we did that episode. Like I was coming back from a holiday in Bali where we had drank a lot. I was with my ex-partner, and I'm like kind of realizing that we weren't aligned anymore. And since then I have probably been drinking more often, but in smaller quantities, and I felt really good about it.
Yeah.
And then it was just like this backslide, and then it just made me realize that how confident I am not being someone that gets really drunk.
Good on you.
So there we go. That's the recap.
Yeah, I love that.
Good.
Monday, Sunday, Monday were dark.
You're so
Really
hard
dark.
on yourself, hey. That's why I don't drink. Like in
But everyone's like, go easy on yourself. You had fun. You're allowed to let your hair down every now and then. But I'm like, did I have enough fun to justify losing 2 days?
Yeah, no.
Absolutely fucking not.
No. And I mean, yeah, it's not great to be so hard on yourself, but if that's a lesson that you
But
feel
if
like
I
you
give myself too much of a pass, I'm just going to keep showing up like that. If I'm not actually digging into what happens.
Yes, I agree. I think that's a great conclusion to
Watch
come
this
to.
space.
Yeah.
And it's also, I think that it's also realizing for me that when I drink, it's important to monitor who I am around.
Yeah.
Like if I am with people that I'm really close with and really safe with, I don't feel the need to show up like that because I'm just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just assess each situation as it comes and know it feels
And
good
like
for you.
you can be fun without alcohol.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Like
You can,
it
yeah.
just baffles me when people are like, oh, but don't you want to like let your like head out and have fun? I'm like, I am fun.
having fun, right?
I am fun. Like, you know.
I know.
Yeah.
Also, like your idea of what fun is changes so much. Yes, going on a night out is fun, but to me, that's not more fun than like on a Saturday morning meeting up with my friends, going for a run, going for a surf,
Yes.
having a nice
Yeah.
meal, having like
Yeah.
good laughs with like a group of people that you love, or
Yeah.
having really good deep conversations, like
Quality time.
getting
Yeah.
outside
Yeah.
in any form.
Right. And for me, I actually feel
Maybe that's why I liked day drinking. I really just like being outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being outside
That's
in
the
sun.
key here.
Alcohol's a bonus. I feel more confident now that I don't drink. I feel so much more confident going to events because I know that I'm going to be in control of the situation the whole time, of like
Yeah.
my reactions, who I talk to, how I talk, and I know I'm not going to be hungover the next day. And
Yeah,
like,
I think I'm just sort of realizing that now.
yeah. So I feel
Also, it's been like I think that having to meet a whole new bunch of people and really working on meeting new people and being confident with that in my personal life, like I could always do it for work, but in my personal life, meeting new people, I was like, oh, this is kind of scary. And I didn't really have to. I was like, I've got heaps of friends. I don't need more.
Yeah.
But that's definitely helped as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Good on you. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Look at you, like, oh, I shared too much. You did good.
You did good, kid.
That's done. Thank you so much. This has been such a fun episode. And thank you for being so open and honest and sharing all of your insight. I've just had a ball. This has been great.
Yeah,
It's been so much fun. I'm like, this is a Thursday. We get to do this on a Thursday. Like, how fun is this?
We do whatever we want.
Yeah.
There's no rules.
Well, I mean, as long as my husband's home till after my 3 kids. But yeah, essentially no rules.
No, thank you for having me. That was really fun.
That's okay. I'm so glad. All right. So thank you everyone for listening to another episode of the Bread and Better podcast. If you're loving it, make sure you're following us on Instagram and TikTok at Bread and Better Podcast for more from us.
And thanks again, Dani, for sharing your time with us today. We loved everything that you had to say about women's confidence, and we can't wait to apply your tips into our own lives.
Literally, I really love that tip.
Catch us walking around in our hottest fits.
Yes.
Thank you.